Welcome to the UBC Okanagan Master of Data Science Alumni Virtual Information Session. My name is Khalad Hasan, and I'm an assistant professor in the Computer Science at UBC Okanagan. I'm also one of the co-director for the Master of Data Science program. We are excited about sharing details about our program and addressing any inquiries you may have. And in today's event, we have 3 alumni with us to share their experience of studying the Master of Data Science at UBC's Okanagan campus. Now, I'd like to introduce our panelists today. As mentioned earlier, we have 3 alumni with us today. I would like each of them to take a moment to introduce themselves. I'm going to start with Madison. She's from our last cohort. Madison, can you please introduce yourself and share some details about your background?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Madison. I just recently graduated in June of this past year. I'm currently working as a data engineer for the St. Louis Blues. If you don't know who they are, they're an NHL National Hockey League team. Previously, I have an undergrad in math from the University of Waterloo and an undergrad in business from Wilfrid Laurier University. It was a 5-year double degree program that I did simultaneously. I'm currently located in Kelowna right now.
Thank you, Madison. Our next alumni is Vimal, who is also from our last cohort. Please introduce yourself, Vimal, and provide some background.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vimaljeet Singh. I am from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh in India. There, I have done a bachelor's in electronics and communication engineering. Then I moved to Canada in 2016 to do a post-baccalaureate diploma in international business before I finally pursued master's in data science here in Kelowna. And I work as a data analyst at Alpaca, which is a fintech company.
Thank you very much, Vimal. Our next panelist is Mayukha, who completed the program in 2022. Please introduce yourself, Mayukha.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mayukha. I'm from Hyderabad, India. So my undergrad was in electronics and communication engineering. So post that, I worked at Musicma. It's a data analytics company. I worked there for 3 years, and then I pursued my Master of Data Science program at Kelowna. And after that, I have started working at Lululemon as Senior Strategy Analyst, Data and Insight. So it's been about 1.5 years since I started working here.
Thank you, Mayukha. For today's event, we received many questions related to the student experience, the accelerated 10-month program, and the MDS curriculum. During today's event, we will try our best to address as many of these questions as possible within the next hour. I'm going to start with our first question, which is, what made you to choose MDS program? Why this over a research-based master's program? I'm going to let Madison to comment on this first.
Yeah, thanks, Khaled. So as I mentioned, I have a background in math and business. I worked previously in finance, also a little bit in the sports industry. I came from a very difficult undergraduate program. My 2/3 of my class had either dropped out or failed by second year. And on top of that, I was the captain of 2 varsity sports teams at the same time. So I was really busy, and I had never intended to pursue graduate studies because I was really burnt out after my undergrad. But throughout my different co-op positions, which is where I worked in finance, it was a co-op program, I had different experiences and decided that I wanted more education to propel my career later in life, specifically with management roles. And due to financial reasons, I decided to do that directly after. So I had just graduated my undergrad 2 weeks before starting this MDS program. And that it made sense for me to do it right away. And honestly, I couldn't picture myself doing any more than 1 year of school. I was already living in the Kelowna area, and I didn't really have an interest in research. So it really was the perfect fit and perfect opportunity. And it was really easy to kind of jump right in and be a part of the program.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the same question to Vimal. What made you to choose the MDS program? Why this over a research-based master's program?
I think a lot of my reasoning kind of matches with Madison. I also didn't want to be in school for a long time. Plus, the MDS is a professional program and it's accelerated, right? So it gives you basically a baseline of all the different things that you might use in your career next. Plus, I also like this region more, and I was already here as well, even though I moved here only because I wanted to pursue UBC O. But yes, the main reasons would be that it's a short 10-month program and it's professional. It's not research based, so it gives you actual skills that you will be using in your career.
Okay, thank you, Vimal. Mayukha, do you want to follow up on this?
Yeah. So as I told, like my undergrad was in electronics and communication engineering, which is, yeah, I did not have a coding background, but somehow I landed a job at a data analytics company. But the environment there was different. Like I didn't know anything about data science, so it was just problem-based learning. So if I had a project, like I had to learn something related to the project. So I used to learn concepts specific to that project. So I never got like a complete view of what is data science. So that's why I decided, okay, I have to pursue this more. So that's when I came up onto this program. And so what MDS gives is a 360 view of different aspects of data science. That's what I thought is a good fit. Like it's a good thing for me to do if I want to get a job and excel in the data science world. So that's what made me choose MDS.
Thank you very much, Mayukha. Yeah, I do agree with all of you that yes, as you all mentioned, that this is an accelerated program compared to a typical 2-year research-based master's program. So this program, like students can complete their program within a short amount of time and then look for their data science related job. And also this program is designed in such a way so that they can get information about all the necessary skills that they need for the data science jobs and so on. So the next questions from the audience is, what did you find to be the most challenging aspect of this program? I'm going to let Vimal to comment on this first.
I would say I think everyone would agree that it's time management, especially in the beginning of the cohort. I know a lot of us came to Khalad with like we are so burdened with so many quizzes and things are coming at us at such fast pace. So I'd say time management, but it kind of gets easier as you go through it. Other than that, if you have all the prerequisites, it should be fairly okay. But I would say the MDS kind of teaches you how to do time management, and that is probably the hardest thing here.
Okay, thank you, Vimal. Do you want to follow up on this question, Mayukha?
Yeah, I agree with Vimal. Like I think everyone would agree with Vimal. Like so, it's an accelerated program. Like you are finishing everything in 10 months. What most of the other courses would do in 2 years. So time management becomes very important. Like you get at least like 4 assignments a week. That's how the course works, and you have to keep up with that. And another thing is because it is an accelerated program, so for each class you have to you have to soak up a lot of knowledge within each class, and if you end up zoning out or phasing out once in a while or miss something, like it gets difficult to catch up. So that I felt was a bit challenging, and yeah, the time management definitely.
Yeah, thank you, Mayukha. Do you want to add anything on top of this, Madison?
Yeah, my answer is a little bit different. It's not really course related at all, but for me, the hardest thing was being patient when looking for jobs. I was tempted, and everyone in my program was tempted to start applying to jobs way too early, but truly May is the best time to start actively applying. But I think it's really important that day one you start networking and inquiring and looking into the kind of jobs you want to be able to prepare yourself throughout the year for that.
Yeah, I do agree with all of you. Like especially for the time management, as you all know that this is an accelerated program, so you have limited amount of time, and with this 10-month program, you have to complete all the coursework, then the capstone, and also you have to ensure that you are doing the networking and all the necessary communication to get a job and so on. And on top of this one, as you probably see, our panelists, all of them are from diverse background. So what we try to ensure that though they are from diverse background, we always try to bring all the students up to the same level, regardless their previous background and so on. Now I'm going to go to the next question, which is basically the pacing and intensity of the program, which is very related to what we just discussed. So the question that the audience, from the audience we receive is, can you please tell us your experience with the pace and intensity of the program compared to undergraduate studies? Was the program manageable? Probably I'll first start with Mayukha.
I don't know if I can be a fair judge of comparing undergrad and graduate studies because I did my undergrad in India where it was a bit different. But coming to the MDS program, it is intense, but I would say it is manageable. Like, you get a lot of assignments, you get a lot of projects, but if you are organized and do not procrastinate and get your questions solved as soon as possible, like, I think it's completely manageable. It's mostly about time management.
Okay, thank you, Mayukha. How about you, Madison? Can you please comment on the intensity and the pace of the program? Was the program manageable?
Yeah, for me, it's all about perspective. For me personally, my undergrad was the hardest thing I've ever done and ever will do. So my point of reference is a lot different than most. I also finished my undergrad 2 weeks before starting this. So I was already in school mode, as you may say, for some people who were in the workforce and then came into this program. It was difficult to get back into the habit of studying every day. So to me, I found it very fair and manageable. The first 4 months, I really didn't do work after 3:30 in the afternoons or on weekends. And I did decide to apply for a job part-time starting in January. I got approval from our admin staff. So it's definitely important to be open and communicate with that. But in the second term, there are more group projects. So it is more time consuming with all of that collaboration. So it's all up to personal preference and what the good habits that you set for yourself and how you're able to kind of tackle those.
Okay, thank you very much. What do you think, Vimal? How intensive did you find the program compared to your undergraduate or similar program? Was the program manageable?
Right. So just like Mayukha, I also did my engineering back in India, and I would say that was also pretty intensive because our class timings were like 8 a.m. to like 4 or 5 p.m. And then we had assignments. So, but that was like quite a while ago. I was not studying that much when I came to Canada here. I was doing international business when I stumbled upon MDS, and it's accelerated program, but just reading about it doesn't you can feel how paced it's going to be. So the initial couple months, they are really hard, especially because if I were living in Kelowna, I think it would have been easier, but I came from Penticton, which is like a 2-hour bus ride. So for me, my day was packed. I had to wake up at 4:30 and my day ended at like 7 when I got back home. But if I can manage it, I think anyone can manage it, living 2 hours away. But definitely the initial months are the most challenging because you're not used to how the quizzes and assignments and labs are going to come at you. And there's so much knowledge that you have to grasp. But it gets easier as the time goes by. And then you're like, just like you said, that you'll be like, oh, I have a quiz tomorrow? I didn't even remember. So it's just like that. It's hard in the beginning, but you get used to it.
Yeah, I do agree with you all. From my past experience, involving the program since 2018, I found that the first block, that means first month, is kind of a bit harder than other months because all the students are trying to adapt with the program and their structures and other different things and so on. So first few months are always challenging than the other months and so on. I have the next question, which is were you able to work part-time job in addition to doing the program? I know that Madison already mentioned something similar, so I'm going to start this question with her.
Yeah, thanks, Khalad. So I don't think it's recommended right off the bat. I think communication is very important. I started my part-time job in January. I worked for the university. So it's important to listen to your faculty and admin staff and really get the hang of things before you make that decision. But please talk to them to see if it's something that you should be taking on. You can always make that decision after the first month. As Khalad said, it's really, really busy that first month. So once you get into the swing of things, you can make that call, but it's different for everyone.
Thank you. How about you, Vimal? Were you able to work part-time in addition to doing the program?
Yeah, I was actually working like a long time. Since I moved to Penticton, I had been working and I never left my part-time job. So I was still working for Walmart on the weekends. For me, I didn't really have an option to not do it because I was working off of my savings, and I had a bit of a financial situation because I took the BC student loan. So to support myself, I had to work. I didn't have an option, so I couldn't quit. But given that I was able to do it, I think, but it's, as Madison said, it's different for everyone. If you're not able to handle all of those things. But for me, I think the job was like a good escape from all the studying on the weekends, which was good. And it's probably recommended to do that. So yeah, I was able to work part-time, yes.
Okay, thank you, Vimal. What about you, Mayukha?
Yeah, so I started doing part-time as well. Like I think from November, like I started doing part-time at Walmart when I was pursuing the course. So one thing how the course is structured, like at least from when I was there, is like Monday to Thursday you have your classes, you have your labs, then Friday you get like you do not have anything scheduled. So that's when I used to focus and finish my work, like finish all my classwork, and I used to do part-time on Saturday, Sunday. So if you do not have any other very big commitments, I think part-time is manageable. And if you are utilizing the lab time and the office hours and the Friday break, like so it's completely manageable.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to move to the next question, which is if you were to go back to start the program again, is there anything you would do differently? Let's start with Vimal this time.
Yes, there is one thing that I would do is document my projects better that we do. After the studies finished, I realized that making up a portfolio for myself took a lot of time, and it would have been a lot easier if I had documented and put it somewhere nicely so that it's just ready to go when it's time to apply for jobs. I also tried to take notes in the beginning because that's how I've always studied, take notes. And I tried to do that in the beginning, but it didn't really work out for me. So maybe I would have tried to allocate more time to that so that it's just easier, because the courses build on themselves sometimes. So it's useful to go back to your notes and be able to see them. That's probably I would have done that, to allocate time to get notes and then manage my projects better and keep them somewhere where I can use them readily.
Okay, thank you very much, Vimal. What about you, Mayukha? If you were to go back to start the program again, is there anything you would do differently?
Again, like my all my answers tie back to time. So I would say first thing is do not procrastinate at all. Like you might have an assignment, the deadline might be coming up, but it's better to finish it off like in 1 or 2 days, the moment it's posted, because it's easy for things to just snowball. Because sometimes what happens, or it might happen, is like your block 2 project is due and your block 3 assignments have already started. So there might be a bit of overlap. So I would say just work on your assignments, work on work for your quizzes, everything the moment it is posted. So you should not procrastinate. And another thing is, if you do not understand something in the class, it's better to clear it off then and there, instead of thinking, okay, I'll just read up at home and by the next class I can catch up. That will not happen. It's better to just clear it up then and there with the faculty.
Okay, and thank you very much. Madison, would you like to provide any additional information on this question?
Yeah, I completely agree with Vimal. I recommend writing everything down. I did this at the end of every block. I would take every course and write down the names of tools or languages or softwares that we used. But doing it more frequently, like on a weekly basis, is really helpful, especially when forming your resume or recapping for an interview. It really helps to know all of the specific skills and projects that you worked on, because it's hard to remember over 8 months. And networking as well. I kind of started the core of my networking in November, but I think starting from day one is super important. And it's definitely important to have quality over quantity. You don't just want to hit 500 plus connections on LinkedIn. It's important to really strategically pick the people you want to connect with and make wholesome connections, and really try to build your network in that sense, rather than just sending a connection and letting it go from there.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much for all these like different information, starting from networking, content management, time management, and everything. Yes, I do agree with all of these things, that like all these things could actually improve your time management and also like prepare you better for the next job and so on. Okay, now we also receive questions on instruction environment and student-instructor interaction. So the question was, how supportive are the instructors when you have difficulties understanding the course materials and homework? Are they reachable and approachable for your courses? So I'm going to ask Mayukha this question first.
Yeah, so one big advantage that, like, at least I felt that it's an advantage of MDS Okanagan program is it's a close-knit class. It's like 30 to 35 people. So most of the times the professor knows you by name. Like, they can see whether you are soaking in the concepts or not. Like, they can directly say it, and they try to answer your questions then and there. Apart from that, we do have labs scheduled every day, like from Monday to Thursday, where TAs are very active. And another thing is, like, even on Slack, the moment you have any questions, if you just ping, it's like all the professors, all the TAs are always active, and they try to respond as soon as they can. So yeah, definitely I would say the instructors as well as the TAs are very helpful if and ever you have questions.
Thank you very much, Mayukha. I'll now ask the same question to Vimal. Vimal, what do you think about the support available from your instructor during the classes? Were they in general reachable and approachable?
Oh, very, yes. Like the teachers and the TAs are very, very reachable anytime you want them to. As Mayukha said, there's Slack channel that I personally found to be the best tool, because you have questions, you post it there, and then if the teacher is not able to reach there first, there are other students who will be posting things that will help you. And also before the start of the classes, you can ask questions to teachers, and there's lab times. If you want to talk to the TAs, there are office hours that you can go to the teachers and talk to them about your problems. So I think, yeah, there is support available. That resource is very much there if you need it. Yes.
Thank you very much, Vimal. Do you want to add anything to it, Madison?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's really the most amazing instructor-student experience I've ever had. They knew our names right away. They were very receptive to feedback and were very willing to modify things based on our schedules and our needs. In my opinion, they were available almost too much, and some students took advantage of that. And as Mayukha mentioned, the Slack group is a great tool to collaborate with peers on questions and collaborate with instructors. I definitely think it's difficult sometimes when it feels like people are studying 24/7 and you get messages at 10, 11 p.m. So it's important to set boundaries for yourselves and check out. So it's important to, if you set hours, you'll be active from 9 to 5, mute other times. So it doesn't feel like, you're getting those messages 24/7. And it's important to respect that teachers have that right as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I think like from the instructor standpoint, we have small cohort. Like since the beginning of the program, we always maintain a cohort size around 40. So from an instructor standpoint, it is always easier for us to know the student by their name and so on. And all the instructor who teaches in the program are very dedicated to help students and their career success. We want to ensure that students are gaining the necessary skills to start their dream data science job. Okay, now I'm going to move to the next questions, which is about taking preparation before joining the program. We had a question on how can students prepare themselves before starting the program, such as learning certain programming language. So this question, I'm going to start with Madison. What do you think, Madison? Would you recommend learning any topics, any programming language before joining the program?
Yeah, there's nothing required. The program does a really great job of starting off at a level that everyone can handle to ensure we all have kind of the same base understanding of what's needed. If you want to familiarize yourself with R and Python, that's great. But I'd recommend coming prepared for everything non-coursework related. So it's important to establish what you want out of the program. So look for the dream job that you want and work backwards from there. So is there a particular skill that you find in all of these job postings? Try to work on that and build that over the next year of the program, because it really is a year for you to focus on yourself, not just through the coursework, but preparing yourself for the career you want. So having a list of those skills and jobs or companies that you want. So it's important to use that year to build those connections and build those skills so you're ready and prepared by the time you graduate.
Okay, thank you very much. What about you, Vimal? How can students prepare themselves before starting the program? Is there anything that you'd recommend to complete before starting the program?
I would say apart from the prerequisites, nothing else is required as such, because as Madison mentioned, the program starts at a very basic level. But I would say if you need to get more out of the program, you should probably familiarize yourself beforehand with Python and R and stats, definitely. It's just that if you don't want to do that right away before the program starts, then you will have to do it while the program is going on, and then it's going to take you longer because there are other things that you need to understand. But then if the basics are not clear yet, it's going to be hard to grasp your mind around that. So I would say nothing is required as such apart from the prerequisites, but it's upon you how much you want to take out of the program. So that's definitely on you. I studied Python beforehand and took a look at R as well, but I hadn't done much programming before that. So, but I think I had the most to get out of the program since I was very behind in this domain. So I think I had the most to learn from this program, but you're okay if you're just doing the prerequisites as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vimal. Do you want to add anything to it, Mayukha?
Yeah, like Madison and Vimal said, like the program actually covers everything from the base. Like they teach you Python, they teach you SQL, they teach you R. But one thing that I would like to add, if you are not from a coding background, so it's okay if you do not have a coding background. It's just that people around you, like there are few other people who are actually from CS background, like that can happen, and they tend to finish the assignments and courses fast. And if you do not want to have like a slight inferiority complex, like that's when I would say, like maybe look at SQL Zoo for SQL, W3 School, Strata Scratch, like just learn basic concepts and get a hang of programming concepts like Python and SQL, and I think you'll be good. But yeah, again, like the course teaches you everything. It's just gonna have to be like, if you want to learn it, then yeah, definitely it would be helpful.
Thank you very much. I do agree with all of you that yes, the program is designed such a way so that we can bring all the students to the same level, regardless their prior background. However, as you all know that this is an accelerated program, any preparation that you take before joining the program will help you to successfully complete the program. Okay, so let's actually move to the next question. As you all know that this is a 10-month program, which is shorter than traditional 2-year master's program. And during that program, students are required to finish 24 one-month courses along with the Capstone project. So there are lots of courses and also the Capstone project. And we also received a few questions on maintaining school life and then work balance and so on. So I'm going to start off with Madison this time. How did you balance your school with other commitments during the program?
Yeah, I think it's just important to be able to manage your time and your tasks. So having a calendar, write everything down, know when things are due, set goals to have things due so you can have time off, holding yourself accountable, and knowing when to check out as well is super important. You don't want to be thinking about that assignment 24/7. So setting those goals and checking out at maybe 5, 6, 10 o'clock, whenever works for you, is really important to keep yourself sane throughout the process.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How about you, Vimal? Can you please comment on maintaining a school life balance when you were in the program?
Now that I've finished studying, I would say take the MDS program as a practice session or net practice, whatever you want to call it, for the actual job that you will do, because there's lots of us who just bury themselves in studies and they don't take out time for any other activity. If you're doing that here, I think that kind of tells you that you have to have better time management, because when you go to the actual jobs, you'll again just be burying yourself in the job and not finding time for anything else. So just like that, you have to find time to do other things as well. So that's why I think I didn't quit my job. I wanted to keep it because that was like a good distraction. So it's kind of recommended that you do other things that takes your brain off of the studies for a little while, and you reset and then you come back better. So I would say that definitely helps. Don't just bury yourself in the hole of studying. Take time and do other activities, anything that you like, and that will definitely be helpful and make you more productive in the program.
You're wonderful. Thank you, Vimal. How about you, Mayukha? How did you balance school with other commitments?
For me, like I said, like I did do part-time and it was on weekends, and like it was on Saturday and Sunday. Personally, I tend to fit. So what my friends and I, like what we used to do was just after the class, after the lab, we just used to sit and power through and finish our assignments or coursework, studies, whatever, like on the weekdays. And I would say it's completely manageable. You have time to do other things. I have seen my friends going to play volleyball. I have seen my friends running marathons. I have seen my friends going for small hikes. So I wouldn't say like this course would consume like my entire life for like 10 months. I would never say that. So yeah, I would say it's manageable and you can find time to do other things. Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayukha. We also received questions related to job. So like one of the questions that we received is, did you find the MDS program useful in getting a job as a data scientist? So I'm going to let Vimal to comment on this first.
Yeah, so I would say after I kind of applied to jobs and did more research, that's what my experience is after talking to my friends that are already working in jobs, that data science job is something that comes with domain knowledge. And given my past experience that was in different industries, retail and sales and supply chain, so I couldn't get the data scientist job right away, but it's a good start to be a data analyst first. And financial technology industry or the finance industry is very new for me, so it kind of makes sense also for me to start off as a data scientist to get the core understanding of what the business is and what the domain is. But I should mention that in my interview process, I did have to apply some machine learning algorithms that were actually very crucial to get the results that I was trying to get to. So I would say the program definitely helps you get this good baseline, and it sets you up. It gives you all these different platforms and information so that if you want to specialize in a certain aspect, then you can, because you have that base knowledge that MDS gives you.
Okay. Thank you, Vimal. However, to you, Madison, did you find the MDS program useful in getting a job as a data scientist?
Yeah, overall, I would say yes. I think it's important to have reasonable expectations. There is no program in the world that will automatically get you a job. That's just not something that you should be expecting. It definitely takes hard work. You can see that the MDS program really helps when you're looking at jobs that require maybe 5 years if you have a bachelor's, but only 2 years for a master's. That's an automatic application that I saw where it was really beneficial. But it really is all about you and how you make of the program and how you make of your experience and knowledge. You'll come across jobs and there will be coding assignments. Your resume needs to be polished, and you really have to immerse yourself in the program and use that to your advantage. For me personally, my undergrad was very theoretical, so it helped me with problem solving, but this program really allowed me the time to practice those skills, which I'm directly using in my job every day. So it gave me that practice and forced me to really, become efficient with those tools. So it really depends on how you make of your time and how you apply it.
Thank you very much, Madison. Mayukha, do you want to follow up on this question?
Yeah, so definitely I would say MDS helps you in getting the job. It teaches you the concept. So what MDS has, it gives, again, like it gives a 360 view of what is data science, what are the tools that you need to succeed, and you learn the concepts that are needed to succeed in the data world. So probably like for me, what happened for me was I finished all my coursework in April, like Capstone has started in May, and that's when I started applying for jobs. So I was learning the concepts, like the concepts were right in my head, and that's what helped me land an interview, like helped me succeed in an interview. So I would say the skills that I gained in this course did help me get that interview and work through that. But apart from that, so all the concepts are imbibed into your head and you are fresh. Like if you are starting out to look for jobs, then you are ready if you are doing the course.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I do agree with you all that the program is designed in such a way so that it like students can get the necessary skills needed to secure a data science position both in Canada and globally once they finish it. Well, I know that like most of our MDS alumni are currently in Canada, but we also have graduates who are working outside Canada. For example, if I recall it correctly, there are alumni who are working at the US in different roles, such as data scientist, data engineer, and other related roles, and so on. So yeah, The program, like from my past experience, the program is helping students in like getting job in the field. So for the, like, as we are talking about the job, it is also important to get some support from the program to prepare student for their future career. Like, for instance, like preparing their resume, searching for job, career advising, and others. So we have received, we have one question. And the question is whether there was support available from the program in finding career opportunities. For instance, did the program offer any career-related workshop or events? I'm going to let Madison to comment on this first.
Yeah, so we have Sonia, who's our full-time, I'm not sure her direct title, but she's a career advisor and helps us with that. And she is absolutely amazing. She organized so many events for us, whether that's talk from alumni on career building skills or their backgrounds, or organizing photo days to get professional headshots for our LinkedIn. So there's lots available, but it really is up to you to take advantage of it and maximize that opportunity. Nothing's mandatory to attend, so it's important to try to push yourself to go to all of those events and work on building those skills, because there definitely are people who don't attend and miss out on that opportunity. So it's up to you to take advantage of that and reach out to Sonia if you ever have questions, because she's always available and willing to help with, you know, fixing up your resume or writing a cover letter, whatever you need.
Okay, thank you, Madison. What about you, Vimal? Did you find a career-related workshop, event, or any support available for you to find your job or prepare yourself for the job?
Definitely, there's help. So there's Sonia, as Madison said. I also think Crystal was helpful because she can point you in some right directions. And then talking to professors is there. I know there was a career fair kind of thing that was happening on campus, and so there are employers that are going to be there. So you could take your resume to them and then chat about them and take it from there if you want to. And then there was these LinkedIn professional headshots that Sonia organized for us. So I completely agree that there are things available, and you can take advantage of them. Personally, I could not take advantage of all of those because I had to take a bus out of the city, which only ran at a certain time. So I could not be a part of a lot of the events that were there, but they are definitely there if you want to take advantage of them, for sure. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, like in the program, we have like personnel who are dedicated to like arrange different workshop, career-related workshop, and provide you support to make sure that your documents, like starting from your resume and other different like cover letter and other different documents, are ready for the job applications and so on. Now I'd like to move questions to the question related to the career path. One question that we received is what career path or job title do students pursue after graduating? So I'm going to let Mayukha to comment on this first. So from your experience, like what are the career path or job titles that you seen that the students pursue after graduating from MDS program?
The most common data title that I saw, like all my friends, like they landed jobs as data analysts, be it intermediate data analyst, senior data analyst, whatever. So mostly it's data analyst. And then a few of them went on to become data scientists. And then there's this, so similar to the role that I'm in right now, there are like domain specific data analyst roles. So right now I'm a data analyst in the strategy team of Lululemon. There's a data analyst in marketing science team of some other company. So there are a few domain specific roles, but I would say data analyst sums everything up. Like that would be the most common thing.
Okay. Thank you, Mayukha. Like, what do you think, Vimal? From your experience, what career paths or job title do students pursue after graduating the MDS program?
Actually, there are tons of job titles that you can apply for after doing this program. Given you have the right experience, that kind of helps. But if not, you're still kind of eligible. So I would say there's data analyst of any level, intermediate or starting, like junior or senior. And then there's data engineers, again, entry level or intermediary. And then there's analytics engineering. And then there's also data scientist, actually. That is because data science kind of is being used as an umbrella term now. So each company defines what roles you will be doing, what your responsibilities are going to be. So the roles could be called different things, but what you care about is what the job description is. So there's analytics engineering, data engineer, and then data scientist, and data analyst is the most common one.
Okay, thank you very much, Vimal. Madison, do you want to follow up on this question?
Yeah, to me, I think there are the big three: data analyst, data science, data engineer. There's various names for them, but they all really break down into those topics and different specialties within them. So it's important to be able to, for me personally, that was my goal, to understand what the difference was between an analyst, engineer, and scientist. So that's sometimes hard to tell for some people, and some jobs are perceived differently. It may be called an analyst, but you're doing a lot of data science work and vice versa. So it's definitely confusing, and it's something that's up in the air in the industry, but those are the main three. And just looking at the job skills of the role will really give you a better idea of what the role actually consists of.
Okay, thank you very much. So we also received questions on the MDS program and career development. So one of the questions that we received is, what is the most valuable or helpful thing you have taken from MDS, and how does the MDS help you in the aspect of career development? So I'm going to ask this question first to Vimal.
Sure. So currently I am using Python. I use Jupyter Hub. I use Git and GitHub. And then I've used machine learning models as well. So that those are all the things that we were taught in MDS. And I'm a data analyst, not even a data scientist yet. So I think it's very, very relevant. All those tools that we study. I also use SQL a whole lot because of analytics engineering. So all of these things are taught from scratch in MDS. And I would be happy to say that I'm using all of those right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Vimal. What about you, Madison? Like, what are the most valuable or helpful things you have taken from MDS, and how does the MDS help you in the aspect of career development?
Yeah, I think our MDS professors do a great job of, really looking into the industry and seeing what tools and what kind of products are used. So they really evolve the program based on what's being used in the current industry. So all of these practical skills and being introduced to them, maybe not being experts in all of them because we don't have time for that, but that was what's most important for me. A specific example, we did one lecture in scraping. I think we spent 30 minutes on web scraping, and I found it super overwhelming and hard. And I thought, oh, I'll never have to learn this. And then I showed up to my first day of my job and they asked me to web scrape. So I had to look back on that lecture, use those kind of that code and that as a template. And now I do it at least once a week. So it's pretty funny how those things come back to bite you. But it's good that I had that exposure in MDS to everything that could be used. And, having that introduction and being able to look back is really helpful for me.
Okay, thank you, Madison. So it's really nice to hear that the skills that we taught as a part of the MDS course are useful for your career and so on. I'm going to ask the same question to Mayukha as well.
As I said before, MDS touches upon a lot of tools that are relevant in the industry. I think the faculty do their research. I think that's how the program is structured. So you have the lot of tools in your quiver, and I feel that helps a lot. So right now, like Vimal, I'm working on Git, I'm working on Jupyter Lab, I'm working on SQL, Python, everything. So yeah, definitely the course equips you for the data science world. And another thing, the Capstone as well, that is something that really, that Capstone is something that I would say helped me land my job. So that is another important aspect of the program that I found to be helpful to survive in the data world.
Okay, thank you. So as you started the Capstone discussion, so let's actually take some questions from the Capstone. So for the audience, in the MBS program, we have actually a Capstone where students get a chance to work with the industry partners during that Capstone timeframe and then gain valuable industry experience and so on. So the one question we have is, what was the Capstone project like? What was your day-to-day like during that Capstone project time? So I'm going to start with Madison this time.
Yeah, the Capstone was one of the main reasons why I chose the program. I thought it was a super cool opportunity to really practice your skills in a safe environment with supports from our professors, TAs, etc. So for me, my day-to-day, I tried to structure it like a job. So the goal is to have up to 4 full days of work that you do per week on this project for 8 weeks. So I tried to do like a regular 9 to 5. Some of my group mates were slightly different, so we did have to kind of confer at odd times sometimes. But I really treated it as a full-time job where you're working, you're communicating with your capstone partner and trying to maintain that level of professionalism with them, as well as when you meet with your TAs and professors for weekly updates. So it was a really cool practice environment where you're able to use those skills and have that support, which will really prepare you for when you're working full-time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Vimal, what about you? What was that capstone project like, and what was your day-to-day like during the capstone project time?
Yeah, I will absolutely agree to whatever Madison said. If you treat it like a job, and as also I said earlier, that treat the entire MDS as a practice session for your actual work life and getting ready for it. So I also treated it like that. In the capstone project, not everything that they ask of you is going to be taught in MDS, because that's not possible in any program in the world, that they'll be teaching you everything about everything. So it's just like a job. So you study about new things, you research about things that you don't know about, and then the good part is that there is support available because you're still in that safe environment, so you can always go back and ask for help. But yes, it looked like the typical day was just like a job. You get up, you start where you left off, and then you do your get stuff, you push things, you save them, and then you have meetings every day with your group mates. It's basically how you decide to have meetings every day or bi-weekly or however you want to do it. But it mimics a very real job setting if you want to treat it that way. So it's like a good practice. And then you'll have a mentor as well who is there to help you along the way, both in terms of a professor and the point of contact that you get, which is also like how it is in a job, that you have a manager or a buddy that gets assigned to you, and then they kind of help you navigating the path there. So that's how it was. It was very enriching, actually.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vimal. Do you want to follow up on this question, Mayukha?
Yeah. So up until April, like until you finish your courses, like you learned the tools, like you learned a lot of languages, you learned it theoretically, and capstone is when you actually put it into practice. And for me, like my friends and I, all of us, like we found capstone really enjoyable. Like so we should start our day at, I don't know, 9 in the morning. We all used to meet up and discuss what we are going to accomplish by the day, and what's the progress that we are going to show to the client on Wednesday, let's say, like bi-weekly progress. So it was resembling a typical office environment, and it really helped. And obviously we had support from faculty as well, and we had a TA assigned to us as well. So they helped us smoothen out the process, making sure that we are finishing our deliverables on time. And so, yeah, overall, I think capstone is a good way to tie up the entire MDS experience, and it definitely helps you to land your next job.
Okay, thank you very much. So we actually received a question from audience regarding the capstone project. So one of the question was, I believe we touched on this point. One of the question is, what is the panel's experience with the capstone project? What are the types of collaboration opportunities during the capstone project? So if any of you want to comment on it, feel free to go ahead. So it's mostly on your overall experience and whether there are any future possibilities for later collaboration.
Yeah, the opportunities that you get are actually there are different kinds of projects that you want to pick from. There's health, there's sports, and then there's national statistics. So there's a whole lot of different projects that are available to you to choose from your liking. If you want to get experience in a certain field that you haven't worked in before, you can do that. If you're comfortable with the particular industry and you want to go with them, you can do that as well. And honestly, it's like a good example of a real world job that you get, and then what the expectations are, how you're supposed to set up meetings, how you explain what you found in your results to the stakeholders, because not everyone is technical, so you cannot really speak that language to them. So you have to basically tone it down and express it in an easier way. So it's a good practice, and there's lots of variety to choose from. So basically you can pick whatever you're interested in and go from there.
Okay, thank you very much. We also received a few. Yep.
Sorry, I was just going to add, I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with the structure, but you get a list of, 10 to 15 to 20 projects, and you get to learn about them, and they pitch it to you, and you really get to choose what you want to work on. I was probably very annoying to Jeff and Khalad asking for a hockey company, which I got. I got to work with the Winnipeg Jets, which was a dream come true for me, and it helped me land my role with the St. Louis Blues right now. And my bosses allowed me to submit a proposal for this year. So if you are at the UBC Okanagan program, we're doing it this year, which you won't get, but next year I'm hoping we'll be able to continue. So if you want to work with hockey, that's a huge plus. Working on the Capstone here at the Okanagan program.
No, thank you very much, Madison. Yes, just to summarize how the Capstone project works, typically we invited industry partners to submit their Capstone project, and as Madison mentioned, that we actually presented the Capstone projects to the students, and we asked the students to provide their preference. We tried our best to accommodate students' request and assign the corresponding Capstone project to the team. And from our past experience, we also saw that there are industries who are interested in hiring the Capstone students, or the students who actually did Capstone project with them, and then later they actually ended up with the same companies that they did the Capstone project. So Capstone, from my experience, it's a wonderful opportunity for students to not only just gaining the industry exposure, but also maintain a collaborative collaboration opportunities, or like in the future possible job opportunities and so on. We also have questions about the knowledge that they gained from the MDS program, and whether they were helpful in successfully getting job in the field of data science. So if anyone, any of you want to comment on it, feel free to go ahead. I believe we touched on this point, but if you want to add anything further. So the question is about the knowledge that you gain from the courses and from the program, whether they were helpful in getting the job.
Yeah, I think we mentioned before, the MDS program does a great job of touching on all of those topics that are really pertinent in the industry these days. So you may not be an expert in everything, but the structure is very carefully curated to maximize your exposure to all of these pertinent skills in the field. And you really get a practical view from those, not just theory perspective. So for me, it worked out really well to be an expert in a lot of different things and be prepared.
Okay, thank you very much. We also received one question on how a typical day look like in an MDS program, when the day starts, and then how many lectures and labs and others. So if any of you want to comment on the structure of the program and day-to-day class loads, labs and others, feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm not a very good example of this because I came from a different city to Kelowna, but I think I reached there before Crystal every day. So I just used to wait there until the classes start at 9:30, and then there's 2 lectures of 1 hour each, and then you get a 1 hour break, and then there's lab for 1:30 to 2 hours lab, and after that you're free to hang out if you want to complete your projects or study something together or not. You're free to go. It's not really very intensive. That's just study time, and you're being given information. So what you do after that is really on you. But a typical day is not very hectic. If you're living on campus or in Kelowna or somewhere nearby, I don't think it's a very hectic day. It's just that a lot of things are coming to you all at the same time. How you handle that is basically on you. But other than that, it's very manageable.
Okay, thank you very much, Vimal. So as Vimal mentioned, it's kind of we have classes from Monday through Thursday, and it starts from 9:30. All the classes, 2 classes each day from Monday to Thursday, and the classes are scheduled from 9:30 to 12:30, and then we have 1 hour gap, and the lab started from 10:30 to 3:30. Just as a note, we do not have any classes on Friday, so you can say that we have 3-day weekend. for this program. So we just have a few minutes left. So I'm going to move to the very last question. So the last question is overall, how was your MDS experience? I'll let Vimal to share his experience first.
Yeah, for me, I think from the entire cohort, I think I had the most to learn because there are different students who come from different backgrounds, and sometimes they are experts in one thing and not in the other one, so they can just study that. But coming from where I was coming from, I didn't have great expertise in neither in stats nor in programming, neither in data science, a whole lot. So I think I gained the most, I would say, and I'm happy that I'm using all of that in the job now. But one thing to realize is that the program is not going to make you an expert in any one chosen topic. It's on you how you pursue it after the studies are done as well, and what you want to do, what interests you. But it definitely sets you up to be an expert if you want to, because it gives you that base knowledge and you can build off of that and go in any direction you want to.
Okay, thank you very much. What about you, Mayukha? Overall, how was your experience?
Overall, I would say like I really learned a lot. Like I can emphasize more on lot. Like I really learned a lot. So as I told, like the program covers really a wide variety of tools, wide variety of concepts that are required. So what it does is, okay, like, there are neural networks, there is simulation, like there are a lot of things. And this is a situation where you can use them in. That's what I mean by when I keep saying it gives a 360 view of data science. That's what this program does. And what you will do with those concepts. Okay, I know that this is the problem that I'm facing right now. I need to use neural networks. And then what I will do is research upon that. So what this program does is point you in the right direction. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much. And to briefly share your experience, Madison.
Yeah, I'll be super quick, but essentially my undergrad was all math proofs for 5 years. So I really appreciated the opportunity to have all of that practical experience to really use these tools with real life examples and do essentially a full 8 months of work that will directly translate over into the workplace. So you just have that safe, controlled practice environment with support. And it really does prepare you for a career in any data science, data analyst, data engineering field.
Okay. Thank you very much. We just reached the end of our sessions, and before we conclude, I'd like to thank our panelists today, Madison, Vimal, and Mayukha, for taking time to share their experience with us.